And now to our second leading story. Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari has been received at the White House by U.S. President Donald Trump. The Nigerian leader is the first sub-Saharan African leader to be invited for talks with the Trump administration. During a press conference that followed their meeting, Mr. Buhari was asked about a report in January that Mr. Trump had complained about immigrants coming to the U.S. from shithole countries, specifically referring to Haiti, El Salvador, and some African nations. Mr. Buhari declined to address the issue, saying he wasn't sure Mr. Trump had made the comment. And would you expect any different answer, by the way?
Actually, you wouldn't be able to really refute that during a press conference.
Exactly.
Right? Et justement, Jerry, de son côté, Donald Trump...
On his side, Donald Trump simply evacuates. This question has not been discussed. The American president responds to the press. He prefers to refocus the conversation on trade. Between the world's leading economy power and Africa's leading economy power, business is one of the major concerns. The tenant of the White House wants to increase trade with Nigeria, which imports twice as many Chinese products as American products. The United States is only Nigeria's fifth largest trading partner, but intends to move up the rankings.
And we do have with us our correspondent from Washington, D.C., Irene Arman-Ungbo. Irene, could you tell us some of the topics on the agenda of this meeting between Donald Trump and Muhammadu Buhari?
The discussions between the two presidents focused on the fight against terrorism, insecurity, and of course the economy. Nigeria is one of the largest countries in Africa with a large population. It's pretty dynamic. It is a major supplier of petrol for the United States. The better Nigeria is doing economically, countries on the continent will be better off. It is for this reason that the economy is primarily the subject at the heart of exchanges between Donald Trump and his Nigerian counterpart Buhari. Buhari was also surrounded by several personalities, including Aliko Dangote.
Irene, but we cannot talk about economics without talking about security, especially with Boko Haram and the so-called Fulani herdsmen constantly terrorizing people in the northern region and the central part of the country. Is any serious decision expected to this regard?
What is for sure, the two presidents addressed the cooperation which exists between the two countries, in particular at the military level. It should be noted that Washington does not directly finance the military sector in Nigeria, but provides training for Nigerian police and soldiers. Recently, the Trump administration authorized the sale of 12 surveillance and attack aircraft to the Nigerian government. Abuja relies heavily on this equipment to improve the fight against Boko Haram, but the Americans condition the sale of arms to the possibility of verifying that traceability. Probably an agreement could be reached very soon in this direction. Trump, answering the question of a Nigerian journalist who was also trying to know when the effectiveness of this transaction. Soon he replied, who, a little before in the Oval Hall, had personally interviewed President Buhari on the fate of the Chibok girls. This means that security issue in Nigeria is close to his heart and that he wants to be useful in this sense.
And how about the shithole comments? They both seem to have dodged the issue, but did this in any way make the atmosphere tense when it was brought up? Irene?
No, not at all. On the contrary, the two heads of states were well relaxed. It must be acknowledged that President Buhari is the first sub-Saharan president to be officially received by Donald Trump. America still considers Nigeria as one of the largest states on the continent, so it's not a trivial choice. It is obvious that Donald Trump takes this opportunity to send a strong message to his African counterparts, in addition to the many steps already taken by the White House to calm the spirits on this subject.
Irene, let me thank you for giving us updates on Mr. Buhari's U.S. bilateral visit. Irene Arman-Ungbo, African News correspondent, Washington, D.C. Many thanks indeed. This is the Morning Call on African News. We'd love to hear from you and every day with the stories that we bring to you, that is. Tweet at us at African News in English and at African News FR in French, and share your stories with us. And for the very latest news stories as they break on the continent and elsewhere, please visit our website, www.africannews.com. Still ahead, a preview into tonight's Champions League second leg fixture between between Real and Bayern Munich. Could there be a stunner for Bayern Munich at the Bernabeu tonight? We'll tell you what the cards are ahead of that game. This and more when we return after the break. Stay with us.